Every business has its own unique story. Stories brewed in early mornings and late nights, built by the hands of business owners chasing a dream. Here on Business Over a Brew, we bring those stories to you. I'm Nick Dark, and in each episode, we sit down with a local business person to explore what drives them, what challenges them, and what keeps them pouring their passion into our community. Because every local business contributes more than just products or services. They're the heartbeat of our neighborhoods. They're run by people who care deeply about their community, and their stories remind us why supporting local matters. So pour yourself a drink, take a seat, and let's learn from some of the best in our backyard, right here on Business Over a Brew, presented by the Riverbend Growth Association. Welcome to another episode of Business Over a Brew. Nick Dar here with you. Pleased to be joined by the fellas from Earth Candy. So we got three guys here today. We'll just kind of go around the table, let you guys introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you ended up here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm David Huniak, one of the two co-founders and owners here with this guy of Earth Candy. We've been in business since 2022. We've been friends for much longer than that. Probably a number that we really don't want to
Sure, right. Yeah.
in ages, but I'll pass it on to you, Josh.
Yeah, so I'm Josh Douglas. I am, as Dave said, one of the other owners, and I think for me, knowing David for so long, it was like kind of a no-brainer for us to put this together, and we'll talk about the origin story in a little bit.
Sure.
But yeah.
I'm Lauren Fear. I'm not an owner. I'm an employee, but when they got their business started and realized that the two of them maybe needed somebody else to give them a hand.
You are the employee, Lauren.
Yeah.
You are
And
the.
the word
Like,
you're
we
looking
need
for
you.
is adult supervision.
Yeah, adults.
Right.
Boy.
That's important. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to question your judgment on that.
So I mean, right now you're the best employee, I guess.
That's right.
All
That's right.
That's good. Yeah.
That's right.
Lauren's also a friend, a longtime friend. And when Josh and I realized we were at the point that we were getting where things were kind of too much for just two of us and we were growing so fast, we knew that Lauren was the perfect guy to come in and help us out, just for like previous expertise and work life that he had, and also just his ability to work with people and work with community.
Sorry, got to make a quick mic adjustment there. So we're good though. So who wants to tell the origin story and just tell us a little bit about what Earth Candy is?
Yeah, go ahead and start.
So we were. Sorry, I'm trying to get my sleeves up. I'm sweating a little bit.
It is hot in here.
So Dave and I were in my garage grinding up some horseradish, as good Midwesterners
Of course,
do.
right.
And we were like, you know what? We could sell horseradish. We could sell cocktail sauce. I got a couple of family recipes that we pickle. Like, we could do this just for fun, make some money to get
Right.
some, maybe like a half season tickets for the Blues or the Cardinals, something like that, right? So we were like, let's do it. So we put it together, put some products together. We did not do horseradish. We did not do any cocktail sauce, nothing to do with horseradish. And we ended up doing our first event in Granite City. It was just like a customer appreciation event for a small ice cream shop, and it went well. But then the next event we did was Horseradish Festival in Collinsville, the International Horseradish Festival. And we could not believe the response that we were getting from people. And it wasn't like the dollars or the jars that we sold. It was the people who hate tomatoes who were like, "Oh my God, I ate this tomato and I like it."
So it still wasn't horseradish, even at
Correct.
horseradish.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But the reactions that we had from people and the response that we had from people, Dave and I were like, we might actually have something here. We're both lucky enough to be able to pivot in our careers where we were at. Dave had just finished up school at Paul Mitchell. And I was self-employed as helping small businesses with a company that I owned. And so we both shifted and figured out what it was going to take to make pickled ingredients for, people.
And when was this?
2022. So that was
2022.
June. So that was June of 2022. We decided to say, hey, we're going to take this from cottage kitchen where we just make it in our house, and everything like that, to like, hey, we need a commercial kitchen. We need to grow. How do we grow exponentially? What do we need to put in place to make that happen?
It's funny, interesting, I think, how many business ideas kind of maybe were spurred a little bit on by COVID and things that happened, coming out of the pandemic. Did that have anything to do with it, or?
I would say it had to do with our free time, or the
Right.
the time that wasn't filled with our careers, just from having to take a step back and getting enjoyment, while we were at home, kind of slowly grew into what we're doing now.
And I had always pickled things, and Dave had we've always been like connoisseurs of things in jars. Yeah. And so, in our free time, like when the pandemic was waning, we got with my family and Dave's family, we always got together once a month, and we would do like these cultural dinners, and like, so our kids would be exposed to these things and we would have a good time. And so we started spending a lot more time together because we couldn't spend time with anybody else, Sure, so this was like our trusted family to spend time with. Right. And so it just, one thing led to another. And then all of a sudden, we're like, let's own a business together.
Sure. That's how it happens a lot of times, isn't it? I'm always fascinated by where business names came from. So, was there a process involved? Were there other names on the table? What came in second in terms of the name of the business?
Going back, I'm not even sure what the other names were that we were considering. We were in Josh's house with a whiteboard, and
somebody wrote Earth
just
Candy. That's
spitballing,
perfect.
right?
It's like we wrote down 40 plus names on this whiteboard, and I couldn't tell you what any of the other ones were.
No, but so where Earth Candy came from, I grew up, I had never maybe even seen a pickled beet, let alone been offered one to eat until Josh gave me one. And I found out that I actually love them. And a lot of kids do too. We found out just by sampling them at markets. So we thought we needed a name that, a cool name for pickled beets. So Earth Candy is kind of I thought we would call our pickled beets, and it turns out that's the name for the whole company. So
The candy of the earth.
The candy of the
And we also may have had a couple bourbons that night whenever we were deciding the name. But it did, it clicked. Like I'm pretty sure you said Earth Candy. And we were just both like, oh my God, that's it. Like, it just made sense. So
you mentioned some people have came up to you that don't like tomatoes or beets or whatever, but they do like them the way you guys serve them. What makes it different?
Well, that's kind of interesting. Before they hired me, actually, I think it was the day that Josh presented the opportunity to me. I was over at his house, and we were getting ready to make pizza. And see, I like tomatoes in things and on things, but I don't just eat them like apples.
Right.
So Josh brought this thing over to me on a spoon, and he goes, all right, I know you don't like just sticking a hunk of tomato in your mouth, but try this. So I took the tomato and put it in my mouth, chewed it up, swirled it around, and I was quite honestly flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I got two things to say. One, I could eat these all day. Two, it's going on our pizza.
And it did. And I think to your point, Lauren, is that what we're trying to do is provide, we don't often talk about our stuff as like pickled items, right? We talk about it as acidified fruits and vegetables. So we're trying to present a solution for our customers, right? So we're trying to present an ingredient to our customers, not necessarily just taking a tomato and eating it out of the jar, right? But how can you use this? How can you use it in an appetizer, an entree, dessert? If you have a family of 4 or 5, how can you make, spend money on this jar and then use it 4 different times for 4 different meals? So we're really trying to provide solutions that taste awesome and maybe taste like something that people may have never had before.
Right.
We do have some classics, but like we have some really interesting stuff as well.
Not really intended, although it can be eaten just plain as a snack.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's
we
really
eat it out
more,
of the jar.
more of
Yeah.
an ingredient that makes the food better that you're preparing.
I think that's kind of what we found out, honestly, because we loved these tomatoes so much. And I know we're talking about a lot about the tomatoes. We have a lot of products, but like these 2 little old women at that first event came up to us. You remember these little old ladies? And they ate them, and they were like, oh, those are so good. What do we do with it? And Dave and I were like, you eat it out of the jar. And they were like, well, we're not going to do that. And we realized right then, okay, we have a really great product, but it's not going to mean anything if it doesn't have a purpose. And so that's when we really started diving into, okay, what we create and what we make needs to provide a solution for our customer base.
Talk about just some of the processes involved in going from start to finish.
Well, logistically, and in the physical space that we've been in has been a journey. Like Josh said, we started this in his house. The very first time we really did anything, we did 200 pounds of beets in a residential kitchen. It
Sounds like a lot.
On an
Dave.
electric stove, which it makes a difference.
starting
I'm
at
glad I
7 in
missed
the
that
morning.
one. That was before they brought me in. I'm glad
Before
I
we were
missed that.
done,
Right.
before we were done at 11 p.m., we had
Oh my gosh.
suspenders on, and our
Yeah.
clothes didn't fit anymore. We just, we had put in a long
Yes.
days of work, and but from then we rented a couple kitchens. We are now in the position where we're buying a kitchen in Hartford.
Oh, okay.
So that for us is a big step. Having our first location where someday soon people will be able to come and maybe pick some stuff up from us for us. But the journey throughout has been a giant learning process between regulations, laws. Just then there's no one out there that teaches you how to do it.
Sure.
There may be people along the way that say they'll give you help, but when it comes down to it, you just got to put the hours in and figure it out.
You gotta dig. Like
Yeah.
you gotta dig. Like we when we first wanted to move into these commercial kitchens, we had to figure out, okay, like to Dave's point, what's the legality? What's the safety aspect of things? Because you're preserving fruits and vegetables, so you want to make sure that you're doing it properly,
Right.
and you're going down the right path. So we are an FDA inspected kitchen. We are a state inspected kitchen. We didn't know we had to be those things until we figured it out, because like Dave said, there's no one there to hold your hand. It's kind of a weird little niche,
Right.
food sector.
How did you find that out that you needed to be?
There were a lot of online research. The state helped us out quite a bit. The county helped us out quite a bit. Madison County has been really great. Their health department's really great. And so I think between the state and the county, and then we bounced some stuff off of some people that we met at markets that do things in jars. Every story was different though. So until we got in front of the government officials, we really didn't know. But I think we have a pretty clear grasp as to what everything needs to be now, which is great.
And anytime you're doing business in the state of Illinois, it's a little bit different than other states.
Yes.
Typically.
Yes.
I
There's a
would
lot
think
more.
so.
There's a lot more red tape,
Red tape, right? Yeah. So,
which is fine. We just needed to figure it out, and we did.
Yeah.
hey, let's take a quick break. We'll hear
Yeah.
a little bit about the Riverbend Growth Association, great chamber of commerce here in the area, and come back and talk more about Earth Candy after this. Nick Dar here with Big Z Media. Hope you enjoy the episodes of Business Over Brew, and pleased to have the Riverbend Growth Association as the sponsor of this program. Our missions are kind of the same, really. We're attempting to educate people about business, foster business in the Riverbend community. The Big Z has been a member of the Growth Association forever, probably back to our inception as a company almost. We have always been members of the Growth Association, have gotten a lot of benefits from it. There's so many networking opportunities you can take advantage of. I've met so many great people just because I've been a member of the Growth Association and taken advantage of all the events that they have, plus just some of the resources they provide you, the relationships you build. Just lots of great reasons to join the Growth Association. They do a lot of great things in the community as well. They highlight a different nonprofit every month. So really, they're just invested in the community here, and especially the small business community, which is what Business Over Brew is really all about, which is helping the small business community, because it's so important to any community to have a thriving business community. And the Growth Association has really helped with that. If you want more information about joining or events that might be coming up, they have events all the time that you should definitely take advantage of. I'm going to give you the website to go to. Just head to growthassociation.com. You can get a membership directory. You can see who's taking advantage of it. You can see about the events that are there, learn more about possibly becoming a member. Or if you already are a member, you can find out what's going on with the Growth Association at growthassociation.com. So just again, big thank you to the Riverbend Growth Association for sponsoring Business Over Brew. And welcome back to Business Over Brew. Thanks to the Growth Association for their sponsorship of this program. And back now with the fellas from Earth Candy. Let's talk about just some of the biggest challenges that you guys have faced in getting the business started, and maybe some unexpected things other than the legality of it and,
Sure.
and the regulations that obviously you maybe don't think about when you get it started.
I would say one of our biggest challenges year in, year out, and throughout every season is produce. We're at the whims of weather and taxes and logistics and all kinds of different things that are always changing our costs of goods. Uh, so it's been a learning curve for us trying to figure out when to make everything in what quantities, how to market those, how to get them to the customer. And it's just been I don't know. It's been fun figuring it out as we go. But I don't know. Josh does a lot more of the sales and is familiar with a lot more of the challenges and that aspect. And I am more versed as well as Lauren with the operations and the production of everything.
How does the produce prices? How does that? Do you have to raise prices to go with it, or
No,
What's your-
not. I mean, we've had I think 2 price increases, like, and it wasn't across the board. It was like with our buckets. So like, 1 year it was wholesale, and 1 year it was like restaurants and bars. And it's we don't like. Obviously, I don't think a lot of people like raising their prices. But we have to. What we do, I think, is we do a good job of, like Dave said, figuring out when products can be made. For instance, navel oranges, our most popular product is a spiced orange. And the growing season is November to May or something like that.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure we're hitting it from November to May so we can get stuff that's grown in the United States. So we're not getting, oranges from South Africa or Nigeria or wherever else they come in from. And the cost is up because it's coming from there as opposed to coming from California.
Right.
So I think, to Dave's point with the production, is like finding when we do the products properly within the season. That makes the difference.
it's got to be a learning curve? And I'm sure you've learned some things over the first few years that you probably had no idea when you first started it. Right?
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. No, like when we first started, I think that we paid maybe $20 a pound for the grape tomatoes we use for our pickled grape tomatoes. And then all of a sudden we were, at $66 for 20 pounds.
Right.
And it was like, if we would have had the hindsight, that first year to, save a lot of that money, we could have maybe had a little more financial freedoms to do some different things. But luckily it's worked out.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's tough too because consumers don't like. I mean, nobody likes a price increase.
Nope.
You go to the grocery store, everything's more expensive. You're like, but it's not necessarily like you said that businesses just want to raise prices so they can put more money in their pocket. It's like you can't take a loss. I mean, you won't survive. Very long.
I think we've been very fortunate that we haven't had to learn any of those kinds of lessons in a really hard way.
Yeah.
We've kept our production, our purchasing flexible enough to where we've been able to adjust within ourselves when there's a huge increase in the price of something that we're trying to produce.
Talk about where you see it going in the next 1 year, 3 years. Where do you want the business to go? Where do you see the growth coming from?
Well, we're in this unique opportunity now, buying this kitchen in Hartford
Right.
to not necessarily change the model of Earth Candy. We will always have that core product lineup where we bring it to markets and festivals and to restaurants, bars, and stores in our area. Now we're going to have this unique opportunity to build what we've been calling the Earth Candy Kitchen. And this is going to be an opportunity for other small businesses that produce food to come and use our kitchen to grow their company. We know the growth pains that are included with starting a business like this. We've been through it. Financially, it was really difficult for us. And there are not a lot of people along the way that are looking to make things easy for people to get them to the next step. So we're hoping that, by having this kitchen, we're going to be able to give some other people that have dreams like us the opportunity to follow in our footsteps.
And I think it's especially in our sector. Like we have people that have helped us, but they're not necessarily in the food sector. So they don't
Right.
know where we can find a kitchen. They don't know where we can find somebody who can find jars for us or somebody who can find ingredients, vinegar, like all of the stuff that goes into it, right? All of that cost of goods. So being able to lend a hand in that aspect of things, I think is really big for like what we want to do moving forward.
That's a great concept. I think just the concept really of, small businesses helping other small businesses. It's kind of a community thing. I know you guys work with a lot of other small businesses in the area. Talk a little bit about those relationships and the importance they've had on your business.
Yeah. Well, first of all, in our kitchen, we also have another company that works out of our kitchen. They're called Smokehouse Jellies.
Okay.
And they also present a very unique product. So they smoke all their fruits and they smoke all their peppers before they make their pepper jelly. So it truly is a unique pepper jelly. Like, it has a smoked flavor. So we've had them on board for a little over a year now, and their growth has been really great. So I wanted to give them a shout out real quick. They use our kitchen; they're awesome people. So, but we work with a lot of restaurants and bars in the area. We've done collabs with Old Bakery, the Conservatory, Old Herald in Collinsville, OB Slices.
Yeah, he was just here yesterday on the show.
OB, so yeah, DJ, he's great. He's using our candied jalapenos on a pizza.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
We work with a ton of places over in St. Louis. You can find everything on our website. If you go to like where to find us other than your fridge, there's a whole list of stores and restaurants and bars. Squires is a big one that people like over there. So yeah.
One of the things I think for retail especially is the convenience factor of being able to purchase and get your product. Talk a little bit about what went into that. I know your products are available for purchase on the website, because it is a world where you can click a couple buttons and things are at your door quickly.
Yeah. So obviously we love when people buy stuff online. It's great. In the retail world for us, what we realize is that because our products are unique, right? Like, we're talking preserved lemons with lavender and thyme and these spiced oranges and these grape tomatoes that have these Italian flavors to it. We realize that people see our stuff and they're like, that's weird. What do I use? How do I use that?
They have to try it.
So they have
right?
to try it. So that's our biggest thing, is putting it in their mouths. If we can get people, that's why markets are so successful to us, because we sample everything. So how do we get these retailers to do what we're doing on the market side of things in their store? So we've worked on providing samples for stores if they'd like them, so they can taste test with their customer base. But really, it's the educational aspect. So we have, obviously, QR codes are great. We have QR codes for shelf talkers that point to recipes, that point to our socials. Dave and I have 30-second snippet videos of every one of our products, us talking about every one of our products. That's for more for the business owner to give to their employees, but so they can educate themselves for 30 seconds and learn, what Jardinera is all about.
Right.
So I think for us, it was finding out how to provide the educational aspect, and we're still continuing to learn and try to figure it out, so it doesn't just sit on a shelf, because it doesn't do anybody good. It doesn't do us good. It doesn't do them good. And honestly, the consumer doesn't know what they're missing if they don't, because our stuff has a price tag on it too, right? We're not selling it for $5 a jar.
Right.
We sell it for $17, $18 a jar. The store's going to mark that up 25, 30, 40%. They need to know how they can use that. So I think through the educational aspect of things, that's really been our struggle, is educating these retailers. The restaurants are easy, right? They're using it, they're putting it on there, they put us on the menu, they order every couple weeks, and it's great, it's done.
Right.
The retailers are tough. Online has been something that we've really dove into this year, starting to send out emails and little blog posts and things like that. And we've seen a massive uptick in our online sales this year by putting in just a little more effort. But again, when there's three of us, it's like, where's our time spent, and how are we making sure that we're making the most out of it?
Right. Sure. You guys have been around for 3-4 years now. What advice would you give to people thinking about starting a business, or maybe somebody that just got started? What advice would you give to them and say, here's something you might want to think about?
The first thing I would say is, don't ever think it's going to be easy. If you want to be successful and you really want to make it work, don't ever assume that it's ever going to come easy. Some days, some weeks, some months might be really easy, but there's going to be challenges all along the way. So you just gotta remind yourself, if it's worth it, it's worth the pain.
Yeah,
I think you got to be adaptable. I think you have to be able to shift with the business, because what you have is a great idea, but it might shift into something else. For instance, horseradish cocktail sauce shifted into ingredients for our consumers. So I think making sure that you can shift and change with what your consumers are looking for is a big part of what it is. And I also want to say, I think it's very important to have fun. We have a lot of fun, like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes too much fun.
Sometimes too much fun. And that's not to say that we don't have our bouts, right? I mean, like,
Sure.
we've gotten into it. We've got like, it's just that happens within business, but you have to grow from that and learn from that. And I think we all have, and we're stronger for it.
It's a lot like family or a marriage.
It is family.
You kind of have to learn how to fight. Like, how do we have disagreements? Because you don't want somebody just telling you what you want to hear all the time. Either you need to be a harsh critic of your own business. So,
and if you don't have that person either, if you're one, like we're lucky that we have each other, we've had each other since the beginning, and then throw Lauren in the mix. If you're truly doing it by yourself, you have to have some kind of accountability partner that you talk with once a week, once every other week.
Right.
You have to.
Not just for the accountability, but I just think from the emotional stability side of things too, to have somebody to commiserate with and say, man, I'm struggling with this.
This emotional stability thing you speak of.
I haven't found it yet, Lord, but I'm still searching. So. Any advice from you, Lord, for business owners getting started?
As an employee, I've been working some kind of job or another since before these guys were born. So I've worked a lot of different jobs, a lot of different circumstances, a lot of different bosses. I don't want to say that, it's always great working for your friends. But the fact that we are friends and our friendship is important to us. I would say as important as building this business is, our friendship is even more important.
Yep.
And that is the thing that has allowed us to work beyond butting heads occasionally, is that we honestly care about each other. And so regardless of whether you're an employee or an employer, you have to care about people and your product. And the combination, we are fortunate that we've got that combination.
Yeah.
Well said.
David, going back to something you said about it, it's going to be probably harder than you expect, but in some respects, really all respects, that's what makes it rewarding and fun to see it grow. It's like kind of putting a puzzle together in a lot of ways. I feel like
it is. Yeah, you can't really feel proud and like you've achieved something if you didn't put the work in for it. It's like a participation trophy. Like it might look cool on the shelf, but you didn't earn it.
Yeah. Right.
I think one thing that has served me well in my business has been, there's hard days, there's challenges, there's days where it feels like, are we moving the needle here? But for whatever reason, I have this just absolute belief that it's going to work, that whatever comes my way, we're going to make it work. We're going to, we'll adapt, we'll survive it, and we'll get through it on the other side. So that's, I guess, my slight piece of advice is just have that self-belief that, and so a mentor told me a long time ago, if you have a plan B, then plan A is probably not going to work. So, don't have a plan B, I guess, is another thought of, hey, this is my business. I'm going to do everything I can to keep it going and make it work come hell or high water.
Right. And make sure you like doing it.
Yeah.
Like, don't go do something because you're like, oh, a friend said I'm good at this, I should try this out. Like, do it because you want to do it, because you like it.
Sure. And so many business owners start something because they are good at it. And that's important too. But it's like, just because you know how to make the food doesn't mean you know how to run a business.
I saw it
two
all
totally
the
different
time.
skill sets. Really.
All the time. I worked for Sherwin-Williams for about 15 years. I saw it all the time with painters.
Right. Yeah.
They're
good painters.
They're amazing painters. They're just burned out. They don't want to do it. They don't want to spend their days painting. They want to spend their days drawing. Or a lot of them are wonderful artists. Like,
right. Yeah. So it's it almost is like, gosh, my skills are almost being wasted painting this wall here.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people just don't know the right way to get started. And I think that's very tough. Like we talked about it earlier, like how did we figure out all these things? We also worked with the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center at SIUE. We did the competition. We won the competition.
Awesome.
We did it 2 years in a row. Dave's a veteran. So we had, we won Veteran Business of the Year 1 year, and then we won the whole thing the next year. But they had some really, really great outlets for us. Our insurance, our lawyer, our accounting, everything has come from that, like those connections that we built. Like winning the whole shebang was great, quite miraculous actually. But I
Winning's
think
always fun.
Winning's fun, but I think the most important thing that we got from that were the relationships that we built.
Right.
And being able to have those relationships still today after winning that thing a couple years ago,
Right.
is testament that that's the important part of it. That the $10,000 that we won is gone. That's long gone. But the
goes
people
by
that are,
quick,
yeah,
doesn't
real
it?
quick. But the people that are there, they're still there.
That is one point of adjustment, I think, for business owners too. Like myself being an employee, it's the budget's different than your household budget. You have to get used to dealing with bigger numbers, really. But,
Yeah.
and that can take some time.
Well, and Dave, I mean, you talk about the thing that your brother-in-law say? You can't work on your business.
Yeah, I said you can't work on your business if you're always working
That's for sure.
in your business.
Right.
Being able to step back and look
Right.
at those numbers is
Right.
hard sometimes because you're so in it.
Yeah. And think about like what other revenue streams might there be for us? Like
Exactly.
having a kitchen and renting out that space. And,
Exactly.
So, hey, it's a very cool business. I'm really happy for your success and excited for you guys. Anything else that you want to mention before we wrap it up?
Check us out on social media. Our handle's at Taste Earth Candy, same as our website, www.tasteearthcandy.com. We do some really fun markets. We do some really fun events, some festivals locally, Midwestern-y. We do some really cool stuff. So if you're looking for something fun to do on the weekend with the family or with the partner or whatever it is, come on out and see us.
December 2nd right now. I might be a unique Christmas gift to get for some people.
It is
right?
a wonderful Christmas gift. And I will tell you, I talked about the oranges. This is our number one seller. It's a spiced orange with cinnamon and clove. It's made for old fashions and Manhattans. Now, don't get me wrong. You can put it in oatmeal.
Now we're
You can
talking.
make pork with it. But I am telling you, hands down, our top selling product. And it is the best Christmas gift. It's like $17 and you get 50 old fashions. Can't beat it.
Sounds great. Hey,
Can't beat it.
Best of luck to you guys in the future. We'll have to
Appreciate
do this again. Sometimes I like to check in and
Yeah,
see
heck yeah.
the progress that you've had. But thanks so much for coming on the show. Enjoyed the visit.
Thanks,
Nick.
Nick. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching this episode of Business Over Brew. If you'd like to support local business, first and foremost, shop local whenever you can. Secondly, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the show in whatever form you consume it would mean the world to us. To watch more episodes, visit businessoverbrewpodcast.com.